Hey, welcome back, my friends. We are here to do another episode of the Denial of the Day podcast. I'm Taylor Grant, Bellator Claims, and I'm here with my claims manager, Chris Barrientos.
Hello, everyone. How are we
Hey,
today?
good, Chris. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm amazing.
Glad
Feeling good.
glad you're here. Hey, we're going to talk about something that doesn't come up very often in the insurance claim world, but definitely something good to know. What is that today, my friend?
Yeah, and I wanted to bring this up too because, there's certain situations to where you're like, well, who's going to pay for what?
Right. Who's
So let me just
responsible?
give you an example. Let's just say we have a car that, for whatever reason, slides off the road, ice, whatever, and it goes into a house. Who's responsible for repairing that house? Who's at fault and what insurance company, is supposed to pay for it. So,
Right. And
yeah.
guess what, Chris? We had this happen to a commercial property. One of our clients had a vehicle run into the front of their building. Thank goodness it was on a weekend. Nobody was in the building because it definitely would have hurt somebody, maybe killed somebody. But this vehicle, they say, was going about 80 miles an hour on a not very large street and lost control, hit a speed bump, a fire hydrant, the curb, a tree, a fence, and hit their property. And
Mm.
the tree and the fence were part of their property and then hit their building and just exploded the front part of the building. And the car went in probably about 17 feet. And it's crazy. But ultimately, the term that we're discussing today is called subrogation, which refers to, and I'm going to just read the definition, the right of your insurance company to go after reimbursement from the at fault party after they have covered and paid a claim. Okay.
Mhm.
So who's responsible, right? It's my building. You ran into it. Do I have to make a claim? The short answer is probably, again, it depends on your policy. Talk to your agent. But in this specific case, we advise the client after speaking with people that advised us just to make sure we're doing everything correctly. Hey, you need to make a claim. The car, the vehicle needs to make a claim. And then your property insurance company is going to go after or subrogate to the vehicle insurance company. And that's exactly
Mm.
what happened. And it was actually really a lot easier to deal with our insurance company for the insured and have them pay for everything. And then whatever they need to do to get reimbursed completely from the at fault party, which was definitely the vehicle.
Yeah, and it keeps you in the driver's seat too, because you're dealing just with your insurance company versus a third party. And
Unintended,
but
Chris, driver's seat.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But yeah, we hear it all the time. People call in. Unfortunately, if for whatever reason, their insurance company isn't paying for it, you know, they're just like, well, can you help me? Like, can you go after this other insurance company? We, as
Right,
licensed public adjusters, we work for the insured on behalf of the insured with their insurance company.
right,
So
right.
we got to stay in our lane.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, first party claims is what we do, meaning the insured's building got run into, their insurance company we can work with. We can't work with a third party, which would be the vehicle's insurance company. That's not what we're licensed to do. So a really good point, Chris. And so in this case, everything turned out great. We were able
mhm.
to get the insured back to pre-loss condition with their policy. Their building looks freaking amazing. The front part, they kind of redid some stuff, like moved some offices around and things like that. So obviously a huge pain in the ass when it happens, and then the destruction and aftermath of that. But the beauty of it is being patient, letting us do what we do best, working with the insurance company to get it fully and fairly paid, to get back to pre-loss condition, which is called indemnification, which is what we want for you. Chris,
Absolutely.
any
Absolutely.
last words or thoughts or
No, I think that's very well explained, and it's always good to know on the back end. Obviously your insurance company, you got to make the claim with them. The only thing that kind of sticks out to my mind is that, well, will that affect them down the road? Will that increase their premium? When it's completely not their fault. But at
right?
the same time, too, it's completely not your fault as well if you have a pipe burst, hail hits your property. Sometimes those premiums go up. So I can see
Yeah.
both sides.
Right, right. And technically, if it's not your fault, they're not supposed to grade it that way. But right now, I think across the industry as a whole, which we could talk about on a different podcast, insurance companies are really struggling because there's so many disasters, fires, tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever it might be. They're really struggling, and they're not making as much money as they used to. So
Mhm.
premiums are going up to try to cover that risk. And there's all sorts of stuff that's happening in the industry, which is natural and normal in a healthy market because different things and different companies take different risks and losses, and all of that stuff comes together. And we're going to see across the country rates go up because of the fires in California or hurricanes in
Unfortunately.
Florida or tornadoes in Texas. All of that stuff comes into play. So one of the things we tell people is, hey, look, I know you're concerned about your premiums going up. And if you don't make a claim for this hail damage because you're like, oh, it's not bad enough, we'll just wait for the next one, your premiums are going to go up if you make a claim or not because everybody else is making a claim and they're getting their properties fixed. So consider that if you don't make a claim, you're just paying for everybody else's properties to get fixed because your premiums are going to go up anyhow.
Yeah, that's a good
Right.
point. A good
So
point.
always, we appreciate you guys. If you like the content we're pushing out, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's get this out to a million freaking people so insureds are empowered to help themselves fight the insurance companies to get as much money as they possibly can on their legitimate and reasonable insurance claims. We're here to help you. BellatorClaims.com.
Great. Thanks, everyone.